Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Julia. Today I am on a mission to get some food prep to bring over to some friends. They just had their first baby about a week ago. We were at the airport on our way to go visit family for Thanksgiving when we got a text that our friend's baby came about a week early, and we just got back from Thanksgiving last night. So I am on a mission to get some food for these brand new parents. The first thing I did this morning when I woke up was get some bread dough prepped so that could rise this afternoon. That's one of the things that I'm going to be bringing over to them tomorrow. So I will throw in that footage right now. Next thing I did was went to the grocery store both for us for the week as well as to get some other supplies to bring our friends. We've been gone for a week for the holidays, so we basically have no food in the house. So it was a pretty big grocery shop for us, but then I needed to get some extra stuff to bring over to these friends. And now comes the time when we start getting everything ready. So I'm gonna be making a few things to bring to them as well as, bringing over some prepackaged stuff. I'll go over everything that I'm bringing them a little bit later, but so bread is one of the things that I will be making, and right now I'm going to make them some dessert. That will be some cream cheese cookies. I will link this recipe down below. I actually saw it on Facebook as a photograph of an old recipe that must have been in a magazine or something, and I took a screenshot, and when we were visiting family for Thanksgiving, I tested out this recipe and it was really good. The first time I made it, I used Christmas colors for the sanding sugar, and that wasn't very Thanksgiving, so I tried to make it a second time and I made one massive error. So I'm going to make sure that I do not make that mistake again, and these cookies are gonna be amazing. So let's get to it. The first thing I need to do is cream together 3 ounces of cream cheese with 2 sticks of butter, which is a cup of butter. These should be room temperature, and mine weren't quite room temperature before I got started on this, so I just threw them together in the microwave for 30 seconds at a time at 30% power. If you're not adjusting the power on your microwave for thawing and softening, you really should. It makes it so that you can heat just enough to get warm without melting. So all of these are gonna go into my bowl. And I'm gonna blend these together with my hand mixer. Next goes in a cup of sugar. And I'm gonna let this blend again really well. That's a mistake that a lot of people make when they bake. They think that creaming together butter and sugar is just mixing them together, but really the process of creaming means that you have to beat it for a really long time. And what happens, I believe, is the particles of sugar basically cut air into the butter, and it makes it light and fluffy, and that's how you get the change in color. I'm gonna let this go for a minute or two, not just to the point of mixed, but really letting them cream together. And while I'm at it, I am going to just scrape down my sides. Again, this is really to make sure that all of the ingredients are fully incorporated. Next, I'm gonna add 1 egg yolk. This is the mistake I made when I tried to make this recipe a second time. I completely spaced and I added a whole egg instead of an egg yolk. And you could tell the difference. It was more cakey and they just did not taste as good. So that's 1 egg yolk, and I need half a teaspoon of vanilla, which, if you know me, we don't measure. I just pour a little bit of that beautiful homemade vanilla right from the bottle and give that another mix. The final ingredients in this recipe are 2½ cups of flour and ½ teaspoon of salt. So I'm going to add my salt all at once, but then I'm going to mix in the flour a half cup at a time. This last half cup I'm gonna mix in by hand because my bowl is a little too small. But I'm using my biggest bowl. Oh, sad baby. I'm using my biggest bowl for the bread dough. So we are making do with what we have. And that there is our cookie dough. I'm going to basically roll this into, I don't know, 1 or 2 tablespoon size balls like this. And they only bake for about 10 minutes. I'm gonna put them in for 8 and check them. My sister's oven runs a little bit cooler, so they took longer when I was visiting her for the holidays, but I think about 10 minutes is gonna be perfect. So I'm going to get 2 baking sheets full of these balls, and then I'm probably gonna need to do another round after those come out of the oven. I can tell by the consistency of this that I did not mess up. I mean, I know I didn't mess up, but when I made these the second time at my sister's and they didn't come out, it was like very soft. Like the dough felt very liquidy. I think it's the extra liquid from the egg yolk, or the egg white. So I feel good that I know that these should hopefully turn out. Then the next thing is to flatten these. So I have a flat bottom glass and a piece of parchment, and I'm basically just going to flatten into circles, just like that. And then I'm gonna take some sanding sugar and just sprinkle on the tops of these cookies. I'm just using what I have on hand. This is some gold, but you could, of course, use Christmas colors or whatever color fits the theme of the reason that you're making some cookies. These are gonna go in the oven, like I said, for 8 minutes, and then I'll check them and see if they need any additional time. We basically want them to be like lightly golden brown around the edges, and we just gotta check. We gotta use our eyes. Got a little baby playing fetch with himself. Okay, the last of the cookies just came out of the oven. Let me show you. This is how they're looking. They're definitely more of like an old school homemade cookie. They don't look professional. They don't look like bakery quality, but they're really good. So I have the rest of them on a cooling rack. I'm gonna transfer these ones to the cooling rack as well. And I did turn my oven off, but I think I'm gonna get it back on and preheating to bake off my bread, because it's been about 7 hours since that has been sitting there. So I think it's time to get that baked. If you hear that very scary growling, that is our baby, who we taught to growl. He has this dinosaur toy, stuffed animal, that I named Dino the Italian dinosaur. I am half Italian. And he now just growls and roars all the time. Okay, it's been a few hours. We got bread out of the oven. Cookies finally cooled. Just need to get those packaged up. And it's time to get our main dish cooking. So we are actually gonna make a dish that I used to make a lot and I haven't made it in a long time. The recipe is for lemon chicken orzo soup. I sub orzo for just like angel hair broken up because angel hair cooks faster. So it is easier to get it on the dinner table. I'm gonna make a full recipe of this, which will have lots of leftovers. So we are actually gonna keep 2 servings for ourselves for dinner tonight. And then I should have probably 4 servings to send to them so they can have a couple of meals out of this. In my pot, I'm gonna get a tablespoon of butter and about a tablespoon of olive oil. And the first thing that's gonna go into this is I've already pre-chopped some mirepoix, which is carrots, onion, and celery. This is the base of our soup, base of a lot of delicious recipes. So we'll add our mirepoix, get that cooked down for a few minutes, throw in some garlic, cook that for about 30 seconds, throw a few tablespoons of flour in there, and that's gonna be the base of our soup. I will link this recipe in the description as well in case you are interested. I'm dumping in the garlic. While that was going, I did get my chicken out, which is over here. Trimmed off some extra fat on those chicken breasts. And now I'll put in 2 tablespoons of flour and give this a stir. Let that cook so the flour can cook. The next thing that's gonna go in is my broth, and I don't have broth today, so I'm just gonna be using water and some Better Than bouillon paste. I need 6 cups of broth, so that's gonna be 6 cups of water plus 6 teaspoons of bouillon, which is equal to 2 tablespoons. And you know, that was 6 cups. I think I'm just gonna do a little bit more. That is about 7 cups. Normally with this bouillon, you would mix it in with the water ahead of time and have it dissolve into broth. But because we're making a soup and everything is going to boil together, I'm just gonna put it all directly into the soup, and I know that it will mix in as this gets going. Next, the recipe calls for Italian seasoning, which I do not have on hand, so instead I'm gonna just put in some herbs. I've got parsley, rosemary, oregano, and thyme. Just a little bit of each. Give that a stir, and then my chicken breasts will go right in. I'm gonna turn up my burner, bring this to a boil, and then I will put the lid back on. I'll turn it down to a simmer, put the lid on just cracked, and let it cook for maybe 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, I will add in some lemon juice and the pasta that I have. That'll cook in about 4 or 5 minutes, so I'll throw that all in. And after that, I will take out the chicken breasts, dice them up, throw them back into the pot, and dinner for us and meals for tomorrow will be ready for our friend. hello again. It is the next day. Last night got a little chaotic. We had a baby that needed dinner. I was in the middle of cooking. It was just not our finest hour. So I am here to show you everything I'm gonna bring to my friend today. I'm gonna head over there in maybe about an hour once our baby goes down for his nap. And yeah, let me show you what I'm bringing over. By the way, the kitchen is a mess, so please ignore. Anyway, first I have the makings for a cheese board. So I have 2 kinds of crackers. We got like some Aldi brand wheat thins and some pita chips, pita crackers. I have 3 kinds of cheese. So there's a goat cheese, cranberry cinnamon, a Havarti, and a seriously sharp cheddar. My battery just died. What a morning. Next, I got this little 4-pack of spreads from Aldi. It's the holiday season, which means they have so many like fun snacks and treats and stuff. So this has a fig and honey spread, an apple and date balsamic spread, a cherry and rosemary spread, and an orange and clove spread. Those all sound so good. Next, we've got 4 pints of our chicken lemon soup. That turned out really well. It did need a little bit extra salt at the end. I think I added more water, and then I added more bouillon, and then it was too salty, so I added more water, and I just like didn't totally get a great balance on it, but I think just a little bit of salt at the end will do the trick. I have 2 salad bags, gotta get our greens. So there's a Caesar chopped salad kit and an Asian chopped salad kit. Plus a little bit of fruit. We've got some raspberries and bananas. Our fresh loaf of bread that we made yesterday. And then I have these lactation drink mixes that somebody gave me when I was pregnant. And I had a couple of them, but I ended up not really drinking them because I actually had an oversupply issue in the beginning of my postpartum time. So I was trying not to encourage milk production. So I have a handful of these that I'm gonna give my friend. She is on a breastfeeding journey right now, so doing what she can. And so I hope that she enjoys those. And last but not least, I made a platter of cookies for them for something sweet. So this is everything that I'll be bringing over to my friends this afternoon. Their baby is about a week and a half old now, and they've had some ups and downs, ins and outs of the hospital, but they're finally home and everybody's doing well. So I hope that this is just something nice that I can do for them so that they don't have to worry about feeding themselves. I know when I was postpartum, the visits that we loved the most were friends who brought food, because it meant that we didn't have to think about how to feed ourselves, and we could really just focus on taking care of our little one and resting as best as we could, recovering from birth, all of that. So it's my pleasure to put some thought and love into what I can bring to my friends so that they feel supported and loved and taken care of. Well, that is all for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're not already subscribed, please consider doing so. It really does help my channel grow and reach new people. I'm so glad to have you here, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.